Welcome to Tips for Gamers. Today we're going to talk about the absolute hypocrisy of the SEC. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey said he feels a little tinge of sadness, probably more than just a little. That is meant. Seeing the Pac-12 on verge of collapse after more than 100 years of existence, and noted that as the flurry of events unfolded last week, it just wasn't one of those great feelings to work in college sports in my experience. I wonder, did you feel a little tinge of sadness when you tried to murder the Big 12? And you did it as they were renegotiating their TV contract deal. And I know people can say, well, they were going to go somewhere. They were going to go somewhere. Okay. Well, you still set it in motion. You guys are the ones who still threw the first punch. I don't know what you're talking about. The Big Ten did not turn around and go get USC and UCLA first. The Big 12 did not go and consume the Pac-12 first. All they did was respond. Are you actually angry at the fact that you threw the first punch and then they smacked you upside the head with a baseball bat? You thought you were playing chess and you realized you were playing checkers at best? And now you make less money than the Big Ten, and even the Big 12 is now a national brand. The Big Ten is the national brand. They can call themselves, they can rebrand themselves and call themselves the National College Football League, because that's what they are. You're mad because they didn't stay regional and they outsmarted you? Really? That's what you're mad at right now? And I love how he says, I take responsibility where we've made moves. Do you? But, oh, there it comes. There it comes. There was something different about last week about the questions around the existence of the Pac-12 conference, given its long and storied history. Oh, there was something different when they did it, but not when you did it. What are you talking about? Don't hit someone and then be shocked when you get hit back. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Oh, it's fine when we do it, but different when they do it. So you expected, let me get this straight. You expected when you punched the Big Ten in the mouth and then you chopped off the arm and the leg of the Big 12, you expected them to roll over and die? Is that what you expected, Greg Sankey? You expected them to roll over and die? The Big Ten has Michigan and Ohio State. They have to keep those two programs happy, and they have to go answer back, because those two programs alone pull in more money for the Big Ten than Alabama and Georgia pull in for the SEC. Both Ohio State and Michigan pulled in over 70 million viewers last year, according to Buckeyes Wire. 70 million viewers. Alabama pulled in 62. Georgia pulled in 53. Okay? More butts and seats, more eyeballs and screens, more money. And there's a classic saying, if you are not at the dinner table, you're on the menu. It is the human way, not even just the American way, the human way to not roll over and die, to fight back to the very last dying breath. That is animal instinct 101, and at the end of the day, we're still animals, ladies and gentlemen. And you don't take full responsibility, because if you did, you would have said, hey, I know I set this whole thing in motion. I set it all in motion. I was the first one to do it, and I apologize. And it gets even better. Sankey said he called Washington State Athletic Director Pat Chun and Stanford AD Bernard Muir, and I don't have any solutions, but I have great empathy. I would have hung up on him. I'd have been like, then why did you start this? If I was Pat Chun, I'd be like, really, you have great empathy? Then why did you start this? The Big 12 looked at the Pac-12 and said, one of us is going to die, buddy, and it ain't going to be me. And then the Big Ten, they ate a huge portion of the Pac-12 because they had to survive, because you basically tried to murder them, and they had to revive themselves. And then the Big Ten says, all right, we're going to grab Oregon and Washington and one up the SEC. And I wonder, did he call the Big 12 teams that were left after you stole Texas and Oklahoma? Did you call any of those guys and say, hey, I have great empathy for you? I don't have any solutions, but I have great empathy. Did you do that? Oh, you only did it when the other guys answered. Oh, okay, gotcha. This is just hilarious to me. Sankey reiterated his conference isn't actively recruiting in additional schools, but said it is constantly attentive. Oh, what's that mean? That you're waiting to strike again, possibly? Is that what that? I don't know what that means. I'm actually asking him. I have no idea what constantly attentive means. Okay? Now you look like, well, the Big Ten outsmarted you, is making more money than you. Well, that's scary. And now they're a national brand, and so when the ACC falls, which they will likely fall, Clemson may look at it and go, well, I could give all my views to the Big Ten, because give them a new region, which the TV networks will pay a hefty penny for. They're top 10 in views, Clemson. And so why not give it to them, allow the Big Ten to plant their flag in SEC territory, get more views, get more money, be able to play UCLA, USC, Oregon, Washington, Iowa, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Michigan. That's exciting football. That's crazy. Give it to them, make them more money, make Clemson more money. Same thing with Florida State, Miami. Give them the Florida market as well, to where now you're splitting the Florida market, you're splitting South Carolina market, and you're allowing Big Ten to plant flags into your territory, and then also throw in North Carolina, which has been the only new region, because all people say is this, well, it makes sense for them to join because it's regional. No, it doesn't. It makes more sense financially. Look at the writing on the wall. It makes more sense financially for them to join the Big Ten, in my opinion. And then if they get Notre Dame as well, which Notre Dame's probably going to end up doing it, then the SEC is going to, each team's going to make $100 million less, if not more, in my opinion, than the Big Ten teams. Indiana could pull in $100 million more than Alabama in 10 years. And then what? What do you think is going to happen to the SEC if that happens? You think SEC teams will just sit there and sit pat and be like, we love our region, and because we love football, roll tide, baby? You think that's what they're going to say? I don't know, man. I think they'll follow the money. And that same thing would have happened to the Big Ten. So I don't shed any tears for the SEC and Greg Sankey. I don't. And it's meant to me that they care when it happens to the Pac-12, but not when it happens to the Big 12. Wow, that's a funny one. That's new for me. That's new. Let me know what you guys think.